Yo, what's good, YouTube? I'm Louis Gusto. Welcome to a playthrough of Pac-Man for the Atari 2600. Let's go ahead and fire up this bad boy. Now, Pac-Man is Pac-Man. We all know it. We know the object of the game. We all know that it's one of the most famous video games of all time. However, what you might not know is that the Atari 2600 port of the game, which we're playing today, is widely considered to be the worst port of Pac-Man, and also one of the worst, if not the worst, video game ports of all time. But does that mean it's a bad game? Does it not even hold up today? Let's see. Let's find out. I was reading the manual before the playthrough, and I was just cracking up because I'm paraphrasing here, but it said at the very beginning of the manual on page 1, said something to the effect like, "Millions of people have been won over by Pac-Man. Pac-Man has come into the hearts of men, women, and children all around the world, and now you could have the same exact adventure, exciting Pac-Man in the comfort of your own home." And then later in the paragraph, or in the section, it reiterates comfort of your own home. That was a big selling point. And it said, you know, if you've never played Pac-Man, don't worry, you'll become a pro in no time. Just make sure you read the manual so you don't miss any detail. Hey, you might even find the manual entertaining. So in addition to saying that this was the same exact exciting version of Pac-Man, but just at home, it said, "We know that you're still going to want to make an appearance in the arcade every now and again to show off your skills, but little will everyone know that you've been practicing at home all along." So what's especially funny about the opening to the manual, of course, you know, you can't really make fun of the people who wrote that, right? They're trying to sell video games, trying to make a profit. I don't think this port was intentionally poor. I think maybe they just didn't spend as much time on it as maybe they should. So that was game variation A. Let's just hop back into it. Or I'm sorry, game variation 1. But not only did, you know, they maybe could have spent some more time working on it, but they probably weren't, you know, familiar with how hard they could push the hardware maybe. Because from what I understand, the Ms. Pac-Man port, or Mrs. Is it Ms. or Mrs. Pac-Man? I always forget. But anyway, Miss Pac-Man Atari 2600 is considered to be really good and a lot closer to its arcade counterpart. So regardless, we are playing the Atari 2600 version of Pac-Man, and you can see certain sacrifices were made to bring it home. I don't know if this is the first ever home port of Pac-Man. I guess I could have looked that up, but I'm just not sure. Obviously, the maze is different, just a different layout. The ghosts all pretty much look the same. I don't know if their personalities are different. Well, I guess if you look closely, they have slightly different shades. But it is difficult to tell whether or not they're blue. The sound effects are pretty infamous, but at the same time, they're famous. Because if you listen to a lot of 90s sitcoms or even movies, when they're using generic video game sound effects, oftentimes what you'll hear is this one, especially the sound effect of Pac-Man dying. Now, I don't know if they reuse that in any other game, but I've only ever heard that sound effect playing the Atari 2600 version of Pac-Man. So I think I might be on the more difficult version because I feel like the power pellet isn't lasting that long. So I think I might be in game difficulty A. So I might have to switch that. Switch B is actually, believe it or not, the easier version of the game. There's a vitamin. So no fruit in this game. That's another sacrifice that had to be made. As far as the points go, you don't see your points on screen like you do on the arcade version. When you eat a ghost there or eat a piece of fruit, you see exactly how much that scored for you. Oh. Okay, there we go. No cutscenes, obviously. Definitely not gonna expect that. But you know what? For a lot of people, this was their first exposure to Pac-Man. And so, you know, it conveys the idea of Pac-Man. It's definitely got the spirit. Pac-Man is not a, you know, when you look back at it, it's not like a mind-blowing concept. You go around the maze. In the instruction manual, it refers to this as Maze Land, and this is Pac-Man's home. So you want to keep him happy and healthy in Maze Land. Not sure that was the arcade story, but there we are. So I guess the ghosts sort of turn pink just as they're about to become harmful again. I believe they all have the same behavior here, or at least 3 out of the 4. It feels like they just go straight for you. Whereas in the arcade, each ghost has a different behavioral pattern. Alright. Okay. Almost 900 points. Colors are good. It's not difficult to see what's going on. And the controls feel pretty responsive, I'll be honest. Wow, they come back to life real quick. The sound effects are interesting, you know, dang, dang, dang. But at least you don't have the siren from the other versions, which can get a little irritating. I much prefer this silence, especially when I'm in the comfort of my own home. Hey, I got the vitamin. Oh, and he just got me, huh? I think this might be my last life. There's a children's version. Like many Atari games of the era, there are multiple games within the game. This one boasted 8. Thankfully, it didn't say 16 because a lot of games do. Like Space Invaders counts 112, even though only 16 are one player. So let's see. That was game variation 1, which was slow-moving Pac-Man and ghosts at jogging speed. So let's try game 5, which is fast-moving Pac-Man and ghosts at jogging speed. And let's try to switch that difficulty back 1 as well. So I said game 5. So in other games, they would count, you know, 2-player as a totally new game, but at least Pac-Man didn't try to pull the wool over our eyes in that regard. Wow, and I like moving a little bit faster. That's fun. Maybe they're gonna stay blue a little bit longer. No, seems like it. Not much longer. So there's a mode for children, it says, where the ghosts move at a crawling speed. So that's pretty cool. You know, Atari thought... I'm finding that a lot of these games had a children's mode, and that's actually pretty cool when you think about it. You know, I can't think of any modern games. Even Super Mario Brothers doesn't have a kids mode, right? Sonic the Hedgehog, it just... No difficulty setting, you just... I guess by then they expected you to be at least halfway decent at a video game, and if you weren't, too bad. So Atari did think of setting the difficulty. I don't know if any other consoles of that era did that, but it's very cool to see. Where's my vitamin? My Pac-Man vitamin. Woo. Oh. Wait, really? Okay, I'm gonna say that's a glitch, because I definitely had that power pellet And they're not dots, they're video wafers in this game. So that is a little bit different. Now, in terms of this game holding up, I mean, honestly, there's really no real reason to play this version of Pac-Man. Unless, you know, you're doing it for something like this. If you're a gaming YouTuber and you're just kind of going for thoroughness and wanting to explore the history of games in a way that's not just strictly collecting or, you know, talking about them, this is a good one to play. Otherwise, yeah, you'll definitely be better served playing any other version of Pac-Man, even maybe the Tiger Electronics version, if there is one. I don't know that there is, but you know, in essence, this is Pac-Man, but it's so far removed from the arcade game. That's why it's actually hilarious that they put in the manual you could practice for the arcade here. I mean, I suppose that's true to a degree. Oh, come on. It's a totally different game in the arcade. The ghosts behave differently. The maze layout is completely different. You don't have the fruit. And you certainly don't have the option to change the speed of the ghosts, which, I don't know. I don't know if you get a free life at any point. I'm assuming you do. I didn't notice that in the manual. Oh, I got all 4. Thanks to the lower difficulty. I feel like a lot of times the ghosts are just overlapping with each other. That's why I tend to say it seems like they all have the same behavior. Not gonna break it down too much, but oh. Ooh. Yeah, see, they kind of all heading toward me at the beginning, and the arcade ghosts definitely don't do that. They spread out after a while, but I think initially they kind of just all head toward wherever you are, which is fine, it's whatever. Ooh. Guess I should not have tested that. They do retreat once you make them turn blue, so that's cool. Just whatever. I could have got killed more and gotten the vitamin, but whatever. You know. Interesting that the vitamin is still there. Whoa! It came through the tunnel. Smart ghost. So, again, I reiterate this practically every time I play an arcade-style game or even Atari 2600 game. Because they weren't working with a lot of memory, the way to continue the game and make it fun was to just increase the difficulty until you finally get a game over. So we're just going to be playing the same maze over and over again. And the ghosts are just going to get faster and smarter. And the power pellet's going to last a shorter duration each and every time. And that's just the way it goes. But I did earn an extra Pac-Man at some point. I don't know if that was 2,000 or 2,500 or what. Oh, I went right into the ghost. Whoa. Okay. Things are happening fast. You know, as it stands, I'm already not the best at Pac-Man, but I do like it. I mean, how could you not like Pac-Man? Jeez. So it's just gotten so difficult to the point where I'm going to need to get that power pellet and then just try to clear out these lines. I think I'm on my last life as well. Try to wait. I can at least eliminate the And they do wait a little bit inside the ghost jail. Should have a good shot at this. They're all the way on the other side. So if I just eat this pellet and focus on getting the last of the video wafers, yep, we did it. And I think I got an extra life. I did play sloppy for a touch there, I will admit it. Clear out this side. But even though it is fun, because it is Pac-Man at the end of the day, you're definitely going to have a better time playing one of the many other available ports. Oh, and actually this is a special commemoration because it's the first official Let's Play where I'm playing a different version of the same game. So I've already played the NES Pac-Man. And it said, if you want the ultimate Pac-Man challenge, to do difficulty A, game 6. So let's try that. So that's, I think, regular speed Pac-Man. And the ghosts move a little bit faster. So far, so good. I don't know that the power pellet's gonna last all that long because I switched the difficulty. Yeah, not very long at all. But I should be able to at least beat the first maze. I hit 3 ghosts there. Where's my Flintstone vitamin? So the tunnels are different. In the arcade version, they're on the side. In this version, they are, in fact, on the top and bottom. Ah. Okay, get the top first and then get... Oh! I didn't realize it came out the side like that. Alright, so I'm gonna have to try to lure them away in some regard. Alright, well, it is the most challenging. There we go. And I got my vitamin. So I will be playing other versions of Pac-Man, including the actual arcade version. But there's so many versions of Pac-Man, plus there's Pac-Land, there's Pac-Mania, there's Ms. Pac-Man, there's Super Pac-Man, there's Baby Pac-Man, Junior Pac-Man, Pac-World. So we definitely will try out a bunch more Pac-Man games. I figured, though, this was a good one to get on the channel, you know? For the sake of history, you know, we can't pretend that it didn't exist. Right? Even though it might have been a poor facsimile of the arcade version, it still sold millions. And like I said, this is probably a lot of people's first exposure to Pac-Man. Oh, I got it. I thought it... Oh, and then I died like a dodo head. I appreciate you watching this playthrough of Pac-Man on the Atari 2600. Please remember to finesse that like button and subscribe to the page for more retro gaming content just like this. And I'll catch you on the next Let's Play. Peace.